Stegosaurus is a cool dino, for sure. Um, if you guys want to follow me on Twitch, my username is Raysuka, just like my TikTok username, but it has a little underscore at the end. If you join over there, you'll get a better look at the fossils behind me. We can talk about any dinosaur you guys want. Hi, Jivinian Studios. Hi, AJ. Thanks for coming over on Twitch. Yeah, I am feeling a lot better. I'm a little tired today, but that's to be expected. My body's just doing all of the last bit of healing it has to do. Hey, Jerome, thanks for coming. I'm glad to see you. Hey, Swift Blitz, how are you guys doing? Thank you, Elisen. I'm glad you like the content. Hey, guys. I didn't change the username. It's still Raysuka everywhere. But I just made my nickname be Dino Mommy. Because I'm a paleontologist. And artist. And cosplayer. So yeah, you can call me Dino Mommy. Thank you, Big Dog Martin. Hi, Two Tones. You think the sounds, you guys can't hear me very well? Okay, let me see what I can do. Is this better? I don't know what a Dali voice is. Thank you guys. I think all the settings are how they normally are, so I'm not really sure. Is that better? That? I'm adjusting the gain. Maybe it's the gain. If not, then I'm gonna have to fix it after stream because I am streaming for the first time without my back brace on. So I can do a lot, but I can't bend my back for another week. But I'm very close to the end. Diego. I like cosplaying Diego a lot. Hey, thanks for coming, Sugar Booger. Hey, Darth Hefe. Hopefully, it still sounds good enough. Yeah, but I'll definitely get help and fix it before the next live stream. Thanks, Miss Crystal. Thanks for coming. Thank you guys. If you guys are just joining on TikTok, I'm a paleontologist and an artist, so you can call me Dino Mommy. I like to cosplay, do comedy, and a bunch of other stuff, but I also post a bunch of videos about real dinosaur science. And there are a lot of accounts that post about dinosaurs, but none of those people that run those accounts are actual paleontologists, so there are a lot of times where they don't really get the information right. So this is the only place where you're guaranteed to get the best, most up-to-date information that you possibly can. And if you want to follow me on Twitch, I'm Raysuka with the underscore over there. Same as my TikTok username. Talk about my big mommy energy. What about it? I'm swinging big mommy energy. Oh my god. My favorite dinosaur is Velociraptor and the bird-like dinosaurs because I study how dinosaurs evolved into birds. So I think they're the most interesting personally. Okay. I'll try lowering the gain a little more. Let me know if it helps if I lower it or not. Um, you just got back from Wisconsin. I hope you had a fun time there. Hey, fanboy worshiper. Yeah, there is. I'm not sure what's going on with the microphone right now because everything is the same. Um, I'm sorry guys, but I might have to fix it next time because I cannot bend down to fix that much. So my friends have been helping me like, reset everything up. So yeah, I might need to get some help and fix it next time. But I hope it's still good enough that you can hear me. You moved over to here. Thanks, AJ. Yeah, if it's too bad, I guess we can move over to TikTok. Yes, I do post a lot on Spinosaurus. Yeah, that's kind of the joke that we have as paleontologists about like Spinosaurus is that every time a new article comes out, something about it changes. That's just because that like happens in all types of science and for a lot of different dinosaurs, but Spinosaurus is popular, so people notice it. But basically, what's happening is just like we don't know a huge amount about Spinosaurus. I'm fixing my bangs. And so every time an article comes out, that usually means there's something new we found out about it, which is exciting. But that can also change our understanding about what it's like. Thank you guys. My username is still the same. It's Raysuka, but my nickname's Dynamami on TikTok. So thanks for following me, guys. Ada, ada. How does it feel to be a paleontologist? I think it depends on the day. But overall, I'm happy to be a paleontologist. I think the work itself is very interesting and rewarding, and it is super rewarding to be able to like share paleontology with the world through my different channels. So I love that part of it too. And of course, I love dinosaurs and discovering new dinosaurs. I think sometimes working within kind of the political system of paleontology and working with institutions and getting funding, relying on different people can be really tricky. It's a really competitive field. But I'm really good at getting grants. But even if you're good at getting grants, the government is a little iffy right now with funding for science, especially paleontology. So luckily, I have been doing Bob movies since 2021, and that is what is currently funding my research. Um, so yeah, I love paleontology. It's complicated. It can be a difficult job. I think you have to be willing to like adapt all the time and kind of be willing. Every day looks different. You're always like, it's kind of similar to being a content creator in that every day is a little different, but you're kind of setting your own goals. You're kind of your own boss in terms of like what research you want to do. So every day kind of depends on like what your goals are and what you have left to accomplish towards those goals. And it also depends on the people you're collaborating with. And in paleontology and content creation, you have to be willing to collaborate with a lot of people to get stuff done and go look for fossils all over the world, work in museums all over the world. People have all different kinds of expertise. So, yeah. I think it's really fun. I like it a lot better personally than a 9 to 5 job because I'm just the kind of person that I love discovering things. I love adventure, and I love getting to do something new every day. That's just a lot more how my brain works. I really do not thrive in corporate situations. So I've done everything in my power in my life to not get into those types of jobs. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, I'm sorry the audio on Twitch today is a little off. So I'm gonna have to get one of my friends to help me fix it for next week. Because I'm not sure what's wrong and I can't bend my back to fix it right now. So sorry about that, but it will be fixed next time. Thanks, Shane Dragon. Thank you for coming. Sorry, we're jump scared. Oh, I'm glad, Jerome. I'm glad you got to see your family. Hi, Mr. Pirate Skull. Yeah, I will fix the audio. Is there a Black Lagoon watch party? Ooh, Godzilla versus T-Rex. I mean, probably Godzilla's gonna win. Depending what version of Godzilla. I think Godzilla -1 is definitely gonna win against the T-Rex. But yeah, Black Lagoon Watch Party, we are going to have that on the Discord again soon. Maybe next week, either next week or in early September. So keep an eye out for that in the Discord. How did I get into paleontology? I always loved dinosaurs since I was a kid, and I grew up going to natural history museums and obsessing about all the different dinosaurs, probably like a lot of you guys do. And I saw Jurassic Park, loved dinosaurs, and yeah, and then in college, but I didn't really know whether I could really be a paleontologist. I mean, I knew people were that, but I had never really met them in person or anything. I knew a lot of scientists, though, who studied other animals, so I was like, well, okay, there are scientists that do this. Then I kind of went into art in college, and I double majored in visual art and anthropology. And during my last year of college, I was assigned to do some work on animal bones at an archaeological site. And I realized because of my visual arts training, and because I'm really good at seeing the details of everything, I'm actually really good at anatomy and identifying fossils and working on bones. And so I have been kind of working on human bones, but that's when I transitioned into animal bones, and I met people who were paleontologists and evolutionary biologists that way, and I got really interested in evolutionary biology and how paleontology can help us answer some of the biggest questions in evolution. I think that's why paleontology became my ultimate choice as a scientist, is so I've always been interested in the big questions of how does evolution work, for example? How did all of these animals appear on Earth? How do animals survive mass extinction events? How do they change and evolve into other animals? How do they disperse across the world, across different continents? So those are the questions I look at in my research. Hi, DeAndre. Yeah, no shade if you guys move to TikTok. I know the audio is better there. I have played Ark a little. I need to get better at it though. Velociraptor could have been that smart. There are a lot of studies showing that living birds like ravens and other birds that are closely related to that are probably as smart as primates. We're primates, so probably as smart as some monkeys and things like that. So they could have. Thank you, AJ. Thanks for coming, Miss Crystal. Next week is early September. Oh, I guess it is. I have my weeks a little mixed up. I thought next week. Oh yeah, it is. It is. Okay. Well, anyway, I don't know if I can do it next week then, but then it'll probably be the second or third week of September, but I'll put it in the Discord and everything. So don't worry, we will have a watch party soon. Yeah, I feel that, Darth Heavy. It's hard. I think being a scientist in general, especially in zoology and like evolutionary biology and studying animals, it's something that's like a little difficult to get into because I think not enough people talk about it as like a job option. But we really do need more scientists and more paleontologists. So you can always pursue your dream, if you still want to pursue it, there's a way to make it happen. But there are also a lot of ways to participate with paleontology and digs and dinosaurs where you don't have to go get a degree and get a job in it. So there's ways to volunteer in labs and volunteer for digs and things like that. And there are like paleontological societies that you can be a part of where you can talk about paleontology and look for fossils and interact with paleontologists, and you don't have to have a degree to be a part of those. Zachosaurus Rex, hi! Well, yeah, it's just a hangout stream, but we can talk about dinosaurs, can talk about anything. We have been mostly talking about dinosaurs, so. Oh, cladistics, yeah. Makes sense. Femboy worshiper, you dreamed I was at your PhD thesis ceremony. I'm honored. I'm glad I was there. I'll be clapping for you in your sleep. Thanks, Jay. How do you get into paleontology? If you want to get into paleontology, I would definitely suggest going into evolutionary biology and having that as your main foundation, because you're studying life. Even though these are dead things, you need to know how living things, alive things work. You need to know how living things evolve and anatomy and basic biology concepts. You need to know genetics, and you need to know evolution and how to read a phylogenetic tree, all of these kind of skills that biologists have. And then it's helpful to also take like sedimentary geology to be able to find dinosaurs in the field. But usually, like when I've been on a dig, we'll take a sedimentary geologist with us because no paleontologist really is super great at geology, most of us anyway, because we are specialized in looking at anatomy and dead things in animals. So I would say evolutionary biology and anatomy are probably the most important science courses you can take. But then on top of that, and statistics is the most important math you can take. Coding is also good, although it's not that difficult to learn, like coding R and Python. And then, but in general, I also would recommend definitely taking humanities classes and history. Like, don't neglect your basic stuff just because you think like, oh, I want to be a scientist. Well, even if you are going to be a scientist or a paleontologist, I mean, most of my undergrad courses were humanities, like art and art history and other types of history and creative writing. And science taught me to think critically to a degree, but I think there are certain like skills for life and critical thinking and being able to think for yourself and create things for yourself that you can really only learn from humanities and art, whether that's music or whether that's visual art or whatever, animation, whatever. I think that it is really beneficial to round yourself out and like not just focus on becoming a scientist, because that is important, but you need to be a more well-rounded thinker to be the best scientist you can be, because how can you really be creative if you only know like one tiny little corner of the world, you know? Um, and like having a broad humanity base in addition to my science skills is really what put me ahead and made me able to be as great of a scientist as I am today. And it's like also allowed me to be flexible and do all these other things, right? Like content creation and making art and making comedy and things like that. So I just think you can't go wrong like rounding yourself out and creating things. A lot of scientists will tell you, oh, that's silly, but I think that's really short-sighted. I think it's really narrow-minded. And usually the scientists that will tell you that are not doing very good work. So definitely avoid that pitfall. Thank you guys for all the gifts. I saw there's a bunch of gifts on TikTok. Last dinosaur I dug up in the field. Last dinosaur I dug up was probably some fossil birds and a leg bone of a fossil horse in China. No, that's not a dinosaur though. That's a fossil. That was like from a younger site. But the bird, and then I found a titanosaur before. That's like one of the biggest dinosaurs. Well, that's the biggest dinosaur I've found, I would say. I know the microphone's messed up or something, but I can't fix it. I have to get someone to help me to fix it for next week. Because I can't bend my back to fix it right now. Thanks for following me. I have a video on Microraptor, but yeah, I love Microraptor. It's really cool. And I explained in the video, we actually can tell what color it was because there are feathers preserved for Microraptor, and there are little organelles in there that are a certain shape, so we can tell that it was iridescent, and basically it was kind of like a grackle. So it was, all the feathers were black and had an iridescent coating on top. It's your favorite? Yeah, that's awesome. You're reading the Jurassic Park novel? Cool. I love those. Hey, Dr. Nas, how are you? We're just talking about Microraptor. I should ask you, what is your favorite dinosaur? Hey, Mega Chibi. Yeah, definitely, Jay. Those humanities classes are really important. Spinosaurus is a good one. Thank you, guys. You're wondering if you should do biochemistry and molecular biology to be a pharmacist or do evolutionary biology. I think it just really depends. I kind of like had a moment like that, I guess. When I was in undergrad, I was like working in autopsy and working in the hospital and learning human anatomy because I was kind of wondering about wanting to be a doctor or a forensic pathologist. And I thought about it for a long time. I thought I kind of wanted to do that and be an artist, but For me personally, I kind of like realized that if you choose that route, it's a really good route, of course, and you're helping people, and that's great. And we need that. We need people that do that. But you are going to be limiting your research questions, I guess, to focusing on human problems because you're only looking at humans, and usually you're going to only be looking at humans of like a certain region or a state or something, you know? So for me, I eventually decided, like, well, I'm going to choose evolutionary biology because it's just scientifically, the questions are a lot bigger. You're not limited to one organism, you're not limited to one species, you're not limited to, like, even just studying birds or just studying dinosaurs. You can study anything. So to me, that was, like, kind of the deal breaker. But although I did really learn a lot and enjoy my time like working on humans, and I know a lot of human anatomy because of that. And so I know it's not quite the same thing as like pharmaceuticals. I don't know a lot about that, but I would imagine it's like a similar question, right? So I would just like sit with yourself and maybe like do some experiences like shadow some pharmaceutical people, like shadow evolutionary biologists, or be an intern for them, volunteer for these people, and see if you like the work, and see if you think the questions are interesting. Like, is the work interesting to you? Because and then listen to your heart and follow your heart with what you want to do. That would be my advice. Yeah, Dinocarius. That's a crazy one. Because I remember when I was little, they would have the big hands of Dinocarius in the Natural History Museum in New York, and they would always be like, "What is this mystery monster?" And now we know. Um, I think I haven't done a video on that one yet, so that would be a fun one to do a video on. It was a medium-sized horse. Yeah, it wasn't super small. Oh, that's awesome, Darth Hefe. Chatting from two places. I'm glad it's fun. Would I date an Asian guy? Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't like not date someone based on their race. You got a psych degree. Congratulations. Yeah, I checked and I can't. There's nothing I can like see from where I can reach, and I don't have anyone else here right now, so I can't fix it. But I will have it fixed for next week. Thank you, Mega Chibi. Your molar teeth extraction. I'm so sorry. That's really hard. Extractions are like a really hard thing to recover from, so I hope you recover well. Ah, happy birthday, Otter John. Hope you had a good birthday so far. Two left ones. I'm sorry. I hope you're not in too much pain. You're more interested in psychology. That's cool. Just because I think I'm super interesting. I love listening to psychology podcasts. I did not watch Primitive War yet because I can't sit down long enough in the theater yet, but I think it might be streaming already. So if it is, I will watch it this weekend. Because, yeah, I'm really excited. Have I ever dug up a carnivore? I've found like theropod teeth and claws, but I have not found a full theropod. So we weren't able to identify like what species really. Dinosaur King, I love Dinosaur King. I did a whole video on it actually. If you check the paleo playlist. Alligators and crocodiles are reptiles that are not dinosaurs. So they're still archosaurs, but they're like not dinosaurs. Hi, Alfie. I'm doing pretty well, thank you. Um, where was I aware of the dinosaur themed horror Carnosaur? No. It was a movie, the Carnosaur movie. Thanks for the cheer, by the way, Decade, and thank you for coming. Um, I'm glad to hear that, Mega Chibi. Lots of driving. Oh, you're both birthdays. Happy birthday to both of you. Fanboy worshiper, if you and anyone who is thinking this way who is thinking, oh, well, I really want to do this career, but I think I should do this other career first to fund it. My advice to you would be do the career that your heart is set on first, because you can never, being young and like going into school is the best advantage you have, especially if you can't pay for school. It's the only time that you're going to be able to really easily get all of the student loans you need and all of the scholarships, because I think a lot of the scholarships I know like are not available if you take a gap year. Like taking a gap year is a privilege that most people just don't have. I know that's why I kind of went straight from high school through to my undergrad and then my master's and PhD, because that's the only way I was able to get scholarships. And it's also like how you can easily, meet people in the field that you're going to need to build up your career, like contacts and advisors. Um, and especially if you're considering like two different careers that you have to spend a long time in school for, I would only pick one, because, oh, thank you, the single way out for cheering. I would only pick one, because when you're at the end of med school or you're at the end of your PhD, like the last thing you're going to want to do is go spend another decade in getting getting a degree for another thing. Um, and you're probably mental health wise and money wise not going to be able to do it. So I would just pick the one that you want the most, like listen to your heart and do what you want to do the most, and you will find a way to make it work. Dinosaur Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Yes, that is on the list for sure. Um, I yeah, you should turn your fossils into a museum. I mean, if it's just like a little ammonite or something, we have a million ammonites at museums. But yeah, in general, yes, you should turn any fossil over to a museum. Or at least what I mean is, like, at least talk to someone at a university or a museum about it, and they can assess it and see how important it is to science. And if it's not super important, I don't think there's much wrong with keeping it. But that way you will know. And if it's like a bird or a dinosaur or anything like that, 100% always check it out with, your local paleontologist, your local museum, your local university. Even if they don't have a paleontologist, like if you're in a really small town, they will find someone who can like assess that. Thank you for coming, Otter John. Yes, I will fix fix the audio on Twitch by next week. Thanks for following me, guys. Keyboard not working. I don't know what it is. Oh, I have seen some Ultraman before. And Power Rangers. I don't know if Power Rangers counts. Jay. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, that's fair, Darth Hefe. I think it gets really hard the further down in academia you go. Bacon or sausage? Bacon. I like sausage too, though. Cretaceous rocks. There's hadrosaurs. Yeah, hadrosaurs are a super common thing. I found a bunch of hadrosaurs before. They're really common to find in Cretaceous rocks. I mean, depending on the preservation, but usually, like, if there's going to be a dinosaur in Cretaceous rock, late Cretaceous rock, then it's going to be a hadrosaur. Your genetics teacher doesn't believe in evolution. I don't really know how they're going to teach genetics well then. But yeah, that's upsetting. Definitely I would definitely fact check whatever he tells you as much as you can. Waffles or pancakes? I'm gonna say waffles. A fact about Carnotaurus. Let's see. Well, Carnotaurus and Allosaurus were some of the fastest large carnivorous dinosaurs. So that would be pretty scary. And Carnotaurus had really tiny arms, even tinier than T-Rex. Basically useless arms. I mean, yeah, I don't know about now, but they've had problems with teaching evolution in public schools, but not at universities. And like that's more like high school, like middle school. But it's definitely taught at American universities and European, yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Caesar. Yeah, Carnotaurus is pretty cool. Its skull is crazy. Its skull almost looks like a Godzilla prop. Favorite dinosaur is Velociraptor and the bird-like dinos. One of my faves. You don't feel good. I'm sorry, Sly Daxter. My favorite cosplay, Misato or Asuka, but probably Misato. Thanks for the roses. The beaver? No, I haven't seen that. I'll have to look that up. Hey. But yeah, I will definitely fix the audio for next time, guys. I'm doing a lot better. But a little tired. A little tired. I think my body's doing the last big healing run right now. But I have been able to be out of my brace a lot, so that's really good. I'm out of my brace right now, so you guys can see. So I'm super excited to get back to like making videos more consistently and getting back to it, guys. So thank you for hanging in there with me. I should be healing over the next couple weeks and starting to build up my back strength, so it won't be long before I'm back to full force Dino Mommy. Thanks for following me on Twitch, Fred, Ada. So with that, I'm gonna go to bed. Go rest, guys. But I really appreciate you coming. And I'll see you next week, guys. Oh, I'm glad you liked the Dilophosaurus videos. I love you guys. Bye.